on the air. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel, Yankees Outdoor Adventures. I am Maèxelawèn Osapèkwinùnt. You know me as Yankee. This is another edition of Outdoor Enthusiast Live, where we introduce you to a YouTube creator who's also an outdoor enthusiast. And we try to inspire you to get outdoors, find your adventure, and get you to get to know a YouTube creator. Today is October 13th. Summer is almost over. No, summer is over. It's actually officially fall already. And if you live in Northwest Ohio, it's going to get cold this weekend. This weekend's going to be our first real cold, little bitter cold snap. Now, maybe other parts of the world have seen it already, but get ready for it. If you got mild weather right now and you like the mild weather, get outdoors and enjoy some fall leaves. But the cold weather is going to be here really quick. Did you miss the full moon? We had a full moon at the beginning of the month, but if you missed it, that's okay, because October, we got what's called the blue moon. A blue moon occurs when you get two full moons in the same month. Now, so that's, you heard the saying, once in a blue moon, so if you got one of those relationships, you can tell your wife, take some aspirin. It is the blue moon. And we get the opportunity to see that on Halloween night on October 31st. We are still in the heat of the COVID pandemic here in America. But speaking of Halloween, hey, you may not have things to do, places to go, and whatnot. I want to invite you to a Halloween costume party. That's right, a virtual live Halloween costume party. But here's the thing, right? I want you to come in costume. I don't care who you are. I don't even want you to tell me who you are. I want you to come in costume. I want you to stay in character, and I want to have fun. I'm allowed to host 9 guests at a time. We'll bounce people around if enough people keep coming in, and you're all invited. Just wear a costume. Come to the party. If you're the type of person who don't like to be on camera, you're a little camera shy. Oh, Yankee, I hear this all the time. I've been YouTubing for years, but I haven't got the courage to hit that live button yet. Well, hey, you know what? Put on a mask and come hit your live button and have some fun with me at my live Halloween costume party. October 31st starts at 8 p.m. and it runs until the monsters go home, whenever that may be. All right, I did a bunch of rambling. It's still kind of early in the stream, though. I got to learn to slow down a little bit, but that's all right, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce to you guys this gentleman sitting over here to my side. He's been sitting so patiently and quietly. And sitting here is Corey, my friend Corey. So, Corey, please introduce yourself. Tell everybody the name of your channel and a little bit about it.
Hey, guys. First of all, thank you very much for having me on your channel. I greatly appreciate it. I feel very warm and fuzzy inside, we'll just say. So, our channel, we call it Camping with Clammi. In the description, we say it's not only about camping, it's about the adventure. So it's, what has to do with more or less anything outdoors. So it's not necessarily always just camping, it's anything outdoors, some DIY, some cooking on a flame. My wife, Marcy, she likes to say, save the propane, cook on a flame. So a lot of times we'll do some cooking on the fire, some DIY on the truck, the camper, a whole camper build, camping in the back of a truck and a tent, you name it. If we can do it, we do it, and get off grid the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, all right, man. You take everybody outdoors, and you've got a lot of different types of content to keep them out there. That sounds awesome. Let me give a big shout out to Food Forest and Michigander Man. Welcome to the stream, guys. If you're here, please share it out. You know how notifications go on StreamYard, and we lag with getting our audience rallied in the beginning. So let me ask you, yeah, sorry, Corey. Let me ask you, Corey, what is your favorite outdoor activity, if you had to just pick one?
Actual outdoor activity or place to go? So
let's say activity. Let's say activity.
Probably the hiking part of it, or the get to know your surrounding or your area type of thing. So that's one of my favorite. Just go wherever you want, figure out where you are, get to know your surroundings, see what wildlife's out there, what trees, what nature's all about, the whole 9 yards, and kind of just go from there. I was raised around it. So yeah, that's probably my favorite part about the whole thing.
All right, which actually kind of fell right into my second question because I was curious if this was something that you've always been into or if it was, something you acquired as you got older.
No, I started at a young age, all the way from hunting, fishing, to being in the outdoors, to ice fishing, trapper cabins, I guess you'd say, or trapper shacks, all the way to, you know what, grab your four-wheel drive, go up the mountain, go up the lake, and pitch a tent or sleep underneath a tarp or whatever it may be. So yeah, I started at a pretty young age doing it.
Awesome.
It's just, it was getting the wife into it.
Do you have a childhood nickname that you would share with us?
It was actually Clammy. My childhood nickname was actually Clammy, so that's why it's Camping with Clammy. So yeah.
Okay.
Everybody
So
used
it
to
stuck with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a story to the nickname or?
Well, back in the day, or my day, at least here, people never called you by your first name. They always called you by your last name, right? So, in my generation, they'd always call you by my last name. My last name happens to be Lammy. I don't hide my first or last name. I'm very open about it. So my last name used to be Lammy. My first name's Corey, hence the C Lammy. So yeah, everybody just started calling me Lammy right away. And then as I went through university and college, they just started putting the C in front of it and calling me Clammy, because my cousin went there and had the same last name. So that's actually where it came from.
Awesome. All right. And hello, Whoopi. Great to have you here, brother. Speaking of childhood, if I could ask the 10-year-old you what you would be doing today, would it be what you're doing now or would it be different?
If I actually wasn't if I wasn't married, so I'll give you a little bit of backstory so it explains where I am today. So I was out in the woods, out in the bush, you name it, I did it. For years, I actually lived in a 35-foot travel trailer. So I thought, you know what? Sold the house, don't know where I'm going to end up, bought a trailer, thought I'm going to go wherever I want, do whatever I want, the whole 9 yards. Never ended up doing that, stayed in the trailer. Then I met my significant other. She's actually a California girl. So she's kind of a city girl. Never really been out camping the whole 9 yards. We started the whole thing with throwing her in the back of the truck with a cap on the back saying, let's go camping. She enjoyed it, so we started doing it. So if I had to start, if I was a 10-year-old boy, I'd probably be living in a trapper shack somewhere, living off grid with solar, the whole 9 yards, but she would never in a million years go for that. Hence why we do it with you.
Right on. Well, so you've actually taken a city girl and turned her into a country girl, then, right?
Kind of, yeah. A little bit of she's still got the city in her for sure, but she really enjoys getting out. If you see any of the videos, she's like right in there. When we first started the channel, she was always behind the camera.
Let me make a video suggestion for you, and of course, anybody, because kind of one of the things I always do, and when something sticks in my mind as a good idea, I usually try to share it. Creating a video angled and designed on how to make or how to get a person from the city to enjoy the country is a good theme. Do you already have it?
No, it's funny. We've actually talked about that. We've never actually done it. Because
dude, I'm telling you, man, it's a million hit item if you get it made right, you get it marketed right, and you only owe me 10%. So we got Frontier Survival in the house. It's great to have you here, Luke Duke. Awesome to see you, my friend. We are doing an interview with my friend Corey, who also has an outdoor enthusiast channel. His link is in the description. If you just open the description box, it should be the top thing right there. It should be a link that shares his channel. Please take a moment and get to know the channel. Corey, as I'm going here, let me ask, what are you most proud of? And you can take that however you want. I know it's a broad question, but what are you most proud of?
As far as YouTube goes, most proud of trying to stick to what I believed in. when we started this channel, it was kind of double-edged sword because we started the channel kind of as a documentary. So when I built the camper or rebuilt the camper, it was to document what we were doing. And then I got the brain scheme idea that I'm going to put on YouTube and see what happens. But then the channel turned into motivating people and inspiring people to either A, do their own YouTube channel or keep doing their YouTube channel, or B, just get outside. Get away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Stop sitting inside and watching TV or this or that. Get outside and actually enjoy life instead of, sitting in front of your computer. Well, I sit in front of it.
Ultimately, you're a crazy YouTuber. Like many of us, you decided to create a YouTube channel that would teach people to not watch YouTube videos.
I know, right?
And hello, Maz. It's great to see you here, brother. Always good to have you in the room. If anyone has a question at any point for our guest, also please don't hesitate to ask. Corey, what's something that people misunderstand about you?
My sense of humor. I have a very twisted and dry sense of humor sometimes. So I've actually even had comments on some of my videos. I think one of them, was my sense of humor. Yeah.
I can understand that. I really can. I think mine is usually you put it very poetically with the way you said that yours is dry and whatnot. I think mine is usually inappropriate and rude is what I'm usually told. So, but, it's all humor, it's what you find funny. All right, Corey, for your great grandchildren, man, give me a message to give to them if they were here watching.
Stop saying you can't do something.
The message.
That's the message. That message goes to everyone. Stop saying you can't do something.
Man, that is a good message. If you're told you can't, you're hanging out with the wrong people, first of all. That's, straight up. Because, look, guys, there's a million of opinions, the way to do all kinds of things. We'll take YouTube, for example, because there's so many YouTubers out there. And you can find so many people that are going to dictate to you ways to do this and ways to do that. But here's the fact of the matter. There is no way written in stone of anyone's direction to go. You put your time, your effort, and your energy into something. But if you got people around you telling you you can't do it the way you're doing it, then it's time to surround yourself with new people. The people that are telling you you can do it the way you're doing it, because that's what it'll take to succeed. Anytime you let that pull you back, it's going to pull you down. So, man, that was awesome. Awesome for your grandkids, man, or great kids, or great grandkids, or whoever may see it.
Anybody. Too many people say they can't do it, and I hear that all the time. Is I can't do the bush thing. I can't go outdoors. I can't fish. I can't do this. I don't know how. Well, you don't wake up in the morning and know how to do it. So stop saying you can't do it. Stop saying you can't fix things. Stop saying you can't do whatever, right? It's just you can't do something.
You can anything. And that's any of you. It doesn't matter your gender, your race, none of that matters. You can just do. You got to do it. And Ruth, welcome. It's awesome to have you here. Corey, what would be your best tip for making the world a better place?
Support each other. So it's funny that you're bringing up some of this stuff, because my last video was a great, big, huge rant. I was actually, pardon my French, I won't say it that way. I just wasn't very happy. We'll put it that way. So I wasn't happy because some followers that I follow were talking about quitting YouTube. There was one that actually literally quit. There's people that are saying they're getting thumbs down in lives, videos, this or that. And that's where it was, don't say you can't do something, and also support. Everybody always says they're going to support each other, whether it's in YouTube or in life, right? If you're going to say you're going to do it, right? The support's always there. It's just, A, are you willing to ask for the support? And if you're like me with a stubborn head, some of us males, don't like to ask for help. Right? You know how that goes. So
Exactly.
more or less support each other. You may not have to support somebody financially or emotionally or whatever. Sometimes just be there so they can vent. That's sometimes all somebody wants to do.
Excellent. That's right. And Luke says Cat never did anything or never did nothing. And that's what his grandfather used to tell him. And that was good advice as well. Awesome. And guys, again, if you have any questions for our guests, don't hesitate to ask. Corey, is there anyone that currently inspires you?
Right now, no. I don't put it on a particular person. I put it on individuals as a whole. So what inspires me, I'm a huge YouTube person. What inspires me is when I watch YouTube and I know somebody's had a terrible day or a rough day, but they still get out there, they still pop that video out, they still try and teach somebody something, or they still try to inspire or motivate somebody. That's what inspires me or motivates me, is seeing other people do it and saying, I can do that. Right.
Awesome. Well, let's step back outdoors for a minute. What was your most challenging adventure you've ever been on?
My most challenging adventure is a couple years ago, a friend and myself decided to take our motorcycles and we were going to go out in the wilderness on that. Didn't look at the weather, didn't go properly prepared, which I should know better. And yeah, the whole thing turned into like a mess. It was a mess. I took somebody that had never gone before and with very little gear, and me sleeping underneath the tarp, underneath a tree with a lean-to, I could get away with it. But assuming somebody else was going to do it for the first time was my mistake and my error for sure.
Right on. But you still go out, you still have adventure. You just maybe take some different precautions so you learn from your experience.
Yes.
And I guess that's pretty much the most important part, is that we do learn when we make any type of errors like that. Go back to YouTube for a minute. What is one thing you wish you knew before you started your channel that you know now?
One thing I wish I knew before I started my channel. One thing I wish I knew how to do before I started my channel was make better thumbnails. My thumbnails sucked in the beginning. But one thing I knew, I'm trying to think of that. Let's go back to that one. Give me a few minutes to think about that one, because I'm sure there's multiple screens.
All right, yeah, we can do that. But but thumbnails is all that. It's a great answer, because so much of the stuff you do with YouTube, at least for me personally speaking, is a growing experience. It takes doing it, producing the video, to actually take that full look at what you did and say, no, I can't do that again. Or, that's the way it works for me anyway. So,
well, I know that was an error in the beginning, is because when I first started, like I said, because when we first started doing the videos, we really weren't in the mindset, I guess, for posting them on YouTube. They were more of a documentary in the beginning. So I never had the mindset of my audio. I never had the mindset of, hey, I'm going to need a thumbnail at the beginning of this video, or to tell people why they should watch the video. So those are really lacking in the beginning. And of course, like you said, you learn more, you get better in the whole 9 yards. But that's one thing that I would have changed, is did a little bit more research just over a year ago. And because my YouTube channel took a turn. I started my channel literally 3 years ago on a completely different topic. So I actually changed the name, because I used to be a big car guy as well. So there's some old videos. I don't know if they're still up or not, but there's some old videos regarding the Camaros and stuff like that. So I walked away, and the error, here's a perfect answer. What I should have done differently is, when I started back up a year ago, because I made a couple of videos 3 years ago, didn't do anything for a year and a half, then came back a year and a half later and started camping with Clammi. My error, I should have started a brand new channel. I shouldn't have brought up a channel from 3 years ago and decided I was going to continue it. I should have started a brand new channel.
Well, what do you think different that would have done for you?
I think analytics wise, it would have made it easier for YouTube analytics, because all of a sudden everything's going from custom cars to car mods to car shows to it's disappeared for a year and a half, and then all of a sudden I come back and I'm doing outdoor adventures.
Right. Right. Yeah. If it's again, if the analytics worked like YouTube creators claim it works, it shouldn't matter. You should be able to change everything in your worded description and gauge your videos for the audience you want. But there are indicators that things don't necessarily work that well.
Yeah.
Hey, if going back to adventures, what advice would you give someone wanting to pursue adventures like you do on your channel?
To actually just go out in the woods, or
yeah, what advice would you give them to encourage them to get out there, or advice to give them to get out there?
If you're going out, do some research, figure out where you're going, what's around. Do you have water? Do you have shelter? Do you have this? The big thing is depending on where you're going, you can go to a campsite. Anybody can go to a campsite, right? Have full hookups and water and a bathroom and all that stuff. I've done it. You don't have to worry then. But if you're going to go out someplace else, do a little bit of research. One of the things that I do is, regardless if it's a campsite or not, I always think of an escape plan. If I have to leave, or if there's an emergency, which is the best way to do that? Because a lot of times it's just me and the wife that go out. Does she know how to, get the truck going and bring up the jacks and the whole 9 yards for the camper and all that type of stuff?
Let me stop you there a minute. Now, are you in a fire region?
We're in a fire and flood. I'm on an island.
Fire and flood. Okay, so those are the two. That was the second one, was flood, was what I was going to ask you, because usually that concern that follows regions. A bug out from my camping position. That probably isn't a northeastern person's thought when they're setting up a camp in the Northeast, because we're not prone to the quick disasters that take place. And it's just a good example of how different regions allow you to think differently. And if you are visiting somewhere that's not a place you're normally from, research. It pays to research your area. Maybe you do need to plan for a secondary escape, or what have you.
Yeah, because we have fires, floods, and earthquakes, right? So not that it happens often, but if you are planning to go away in the middle of nowhere, that's something you want in the back of your mind. What if? Or what if there's an emergency and somebody got hurt and it's only two of us, right? Just the emergency thing is I always think that somebody should be prepared for anyways, especially if you're by yourself. Can I do this if I'm by myself type of thing? Or can I get out if I'm by myself if you're in the middle of nowhere, right? So I always
by yourself's a big danger anyway. I mean, but sometimes we have to be that way. But that is a big danger of being by yourself. What's the biggest resource you use when you go adventuring? What do you use the most personally?
YouTube.
Do you use YouTube?
I used to use Google, the whole 9 yards. I've got off-road maps. I've got all this type of stuff. But if I have an idea that someplace I'm going that I've never been before, I will see if anybody's done a video or talked about it or whatever on YouTube first.
And I'm sure somebody has, because there's no such thing as a topic that has not been done yet on YouTube.
I've found quite a few in Canada, because YouTube is much bigger in the US, right, than it is in Canada. So that's kind of a thing. But you're going to generally get an unbiased review or opinion or surroundings of wherever you're going to go, compared to some pamphlet or some touristy whatever saying, hey, go here, this is beautiful, right? You're going to get more of a real story. So that's the first thing I look at.
Right. All right, man, I got to ask you this. I do a monthly show about uncovering the truth about conspiracies. And I get a lot of my audience watch these videos, so I throw this question in there specifically for those individuals. And I do have to ask you, well, first of all, have you ever heard of Bigfoot, and have you ever seen Bigfoot?
Of course, I've heard of Bigfoot. I live on an island. We have other animals or other things that they say are out here. I have physically never seen it. Because I haven't seen something, do I believe it does not exist? No.
Okay. So you're, as far as if I were to ask you if it's real or a myth, you would be just up in the air?
Yeah, it'd be, you know what? I'm not one of those people. I used to be one of those people where I have to see something to believe it. And I found myself by having that train of thought all the time. If I don't see it, it doesn't exist. That sometimes I'm missing out on stuff. So now I have an open mind that it could be true or not true or whatever. If I'm lucky enough to see it, fabulous. If I'm lucky enough to find out that it's not true, that's fabulous as well, right? It just keeps the brain open to any possibility.
That's right. That's right. And hike with me. Welcome, Diana, Food Forest. It's great to have all you guys here. And we're here with Corey. Corey has a channel that you can find. If you open up the description to this video, you will find a link to Corey's channel. And I ask you to please stop by, check it out. All kinds of outdoor stuff going on over there. Corey, do you have any upcoming adventures that you'd like to share with us?
I actually have a couple. I have a couple silly ones that I did. I haven't finished editing yet. It's that particular one is being a bit of a pain in the butt to edit. I decided I was going to go fishing, but not fishing like normal people would think. I went fishing with a magnet. I wanted to see what was on the bottom of some lakes and rivers and swamps and everything else. So I haven't finished editing that one yet. Did some reviews.
Magnet fishing can do pretty good. There's actually whole communities that follow magnet fishing. So
yeah, I decided I wanted to give it a try. So sometimes I'll do stuff, you know, that show if it's easy or not type of thing. I did some reviews. We had a breakdown in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I did a video on that. I haven't finished editing that one yet. So yeah, there's definitely a couple more coming, plus the live streams that we do as well, right, on a regular basis, or try to.
All right, awesome. Well, Corey, I'm actually gonna go ahead. We'll wind this down to the 30-minute mark because it really does help on the replay value. That's why I like to do that. And since we're already 27 minutes in, let me ask: do you use any other social media platforms or any other places that people can get up with you? And if so, go ahead and make mention of them.
Yeah. So if you actually go to my YouTube channel, it's really easy. I've left links for both Instagram and for Twitter. I do use Twitter a lot whenever I posted something out or I have some questions. Sometimes I like to ask questions on Twitter because it's easier to get a reply back. And then I also follow my comments as much as I possibly can, or my wife Marcy follows them on YouTube as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Corey, man, our time like really flew. You're a great guest. You had a lot to say. If you could step into my shoes and you were interviewing you, was there a question that you would have asked that I didn't ask?
No. Yeah. Do I enjoy what I do?
And do you?
Absolutely. 100%.
Excellent.
I am going to add something here.
Do it.
Yeah, but I am going to add it since we're going to be ending this real quick. So if you guys are interested, please head over to my channel. Make sure you smash that red button and ding that bell, because what's going to be happening in the next few weeks, we're going to flip this around. So since I was so graciously offered to come for this interview, we're going to flip it around. We're going to do an interview on my channel in a couple of weeks. I cannot pin down a day because my work schedule is insane. Some days I think I'm going to be working and then I don't, and then I think I'm off and then I work. So I have to actually schedule it as we get closer, which is generally a day before. I will schedule it in the evening before we go live. So if you guys would like to see me ask a whole bunch of odd, weird, and wonderful questions, put him on the spot this time. you're going to want to check me out.
Well, that's going to be awesome. And again, I'm going to encourage everybody to hit the link in the description. It'll take you to his channel. That way you can ring the bell over there. You can catch the interview when I'm over there on his channel. And I'm sure it'll be a blast without a doubt. Diana, thank you for being here. And I just want to make sure there wasn't any questions. Okay, I think we're all good through all of that. Guys, we are at the 30-minute mark. So again, I want to encourage you, stop over, check out Corey. Corey, thank you very much for being here on the channel today. And guys, until our trails meet again, I hope all your adventures are awesome. Winishita for watching, and hang in there, Corey, while I back this out. 3, 2, 1, and